Hi peeps, welcome back to my channel. Today Sam and I are back with another video on living disabled, and today we are going to be talking about ways that you can help your friends who are disabled or who have chronic illness and things to understand. If you are interested, stick around and be sure and subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell so that you get notified when I have new videos out, and we will get started here in a moment. Yes, when you have friends who are disabled or who have chronic illness, there are certain times that things will be difficult for them or certain issues that you should be aware of. We're just going to try and help you by giving you some tips today to make your relationship smoother with them and to help you understand. Now, be aware these are tips that are coming from us, so they reflect our experience. Kaylee's here again. And, they may not apply to everybody, but they can get you a place to start thinking about things. So I'm going to start off all with having Kaylee stop moving my monitor. So my first tip, and it's probably my biggest one, is if you invite me to your house for dinner, I say I'm going to bring my own food. Please don't be offended. There are so many things I can't eat, and there's so much chance for cross-contamination that sometimes it's just dangerous for me to eat food prepared by other people. I know that you would probably try to, minimize all the problems for me, but sometimes there's just not enough security in knowing that, and my reactions can be severe enough that I need to feel secure when I eat. So it's not that I am thinking that you can't cook or that it doesn't sound delicious, but sometimes I do have to bring my own food. Sam?
Hi. My big tip to help you with a disabled person: ask before you help someone. Don't assume they need X, Y, Z help and just do it. I need help with some things, but not everything. A big example of this is holding a door open for me. I use the door as balance, and when someone holds it open for me, that takes away my ability to balance and step over the usual threshold. So that could knock me down. Do not automatically assume I need help with something. Ask first.
That's a big one. We've had many times where someone has tried to hold the door for Sam and they don't understand why he tells them no. But it's very true. The door acts as a balance for him, and you know, please don't be offended when people tell you no, don't do that if you just jumped to do something. My second tip, if you invite me to a party, my back and knees are such that if you have overstuffed furniture or very low furniture, it's going to be hard for me to get out of it. So maybe have a few like folding chairs around that are easy to sit down in or stand up out of. I think Sam has this issue too with his disability. So, think about what you have in your house and whether it's easy for your friends to navigate.
And it is different for every person. Some people need it, some don't.
And when in doubt, just ask. We don't mind when you ask questions. That actually, I prefer it because it shows that you are thinking of my comfort as a guest, and it can really avert awkward situations. Sam, what's your second tip?
My second one, don't force someone to your level of comfort or activity. For instance, at work, I had to attend a group bowling event. It was an out of office event, and I told them again and again I cannot bowl for obvious reasons, and yet I had to attend. And they kept saying, well, we could accommodate you this way. No, I can't do that. And I still had to attend, but they wouldn't acknowledge that I couldn't do that. It was insulting and demeaning.
Now, my third tip, um, when I invite you to my house for a party or something, on my invitations, I always put, please don't bring food. I will supply everything. This is not a slam at your delicious brownies or anything else, but we keep a completely nut and gluten-free household for a reason, for very strong reasons. And when you ignore that notation on my invitation and just bring something, it might um, it might cause severe reactions. Like if it has garlic in it, I can't have it in the house. I can't have nuts in the house because, it can cause anaphylactic reactions. So,
Nuts are an airborne allergy. It can be airborne. Just smelling it can be dangerous.
yes, actually, my niece can go into anaphylaxis from just smelling or being around nuts or smelling peanut butter on your breath. So, if I ask, please don't wear fragrances, please don't, if you come in and I ask you to wash your hands, please don't be offended because if you have been eating nuts, you can leave nut oil on the surfaces and that can cause problems. So there are reasons why I ask people, don't feel like you need to bring food. If you want to bring a gift or something, bring a cat toy or bring flowers that I can put outside if I need to, or that I can put up on the hutch. Food and sometimes perfumes are problematic.
Flowers could be an issue because people could be allergic. Don't assume, ask in advance.
Yes, it doesn't spoil a surprise. It doesn't spoil a gift if you ask in advance. Sam?
Don't talk over a disabled person. Um, I am not mentally challenged. I can understand and think, okay, I can respond, but don't assume I am obviously inferior to everyone else and someone should speak over me, determining what I need or don't need. I know very well what I need.
Another example of talking over someone is when we could go to restaurants, the waiter would ask me what Sam wanted. When he started to answer and his speech was slower, they would talk over him and ask me, and I'd be like, ask him yourself and listen to what he's saying. So give people the time they need if they have a speech impediment. My fourth tip, sometimes chronic illness means that we have to cancel right up at the last minute. And we don't do this to mess up your party. We don't do this to mess up an invitation. It's just If I have a reaction coming on suddenly, I will have to cancel. If I am feeling so bad the next day after a reaction, I may have to cancel. Um, it's just a fact of life with chronic illness, and many chronic illnesses, especially like chronic fatigue or something, have this problem. So please don't be offended if we say, I'm sorry, we have to change plans. It can be awkward. I know it's annoying, but it's just a fact of life if you have a chronic illness. Sam, what is your fourth tip?
Alright, if a person asks for help and you are not able to perform that task, it is okay to say no. You have reasonable limits. Maybe you cannot accommodate someone's disability, like you have stairs at your place. So, say no.
That's very true. We have a number of friends who have stairs in their house that are kind of unnavigable. And especially if you have a bathroom on the second floor, but not on the first floor, sometimes we may not be able to come over to your house. It's not that we don't want to visit you. Kaylee's telling us there are birds outside, by the way. Yeah, it's not that we don't want to visit you. It's not that we don't want to hang out. It's just your house may not be disability friendly, and that's okay. If it works for you, it works for you. It's where you live. But we might not be able to go. I think my last tip today is goes right into that. Don't If we turn down an invitation, it may mean A, that we just can't manage the activity you have planned, or B, it could be your house is a little set up so we can't handle it. Um, I can't go to restaurants. If you plan an outing at a restaurant, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. Don't feel like, adding on to what Sam just said, don't feel you have to always invite us if we can't manage that activity.
And we may very well want to go. Um, I'll be mildly annoyed I cannot go, but that is on me, not you.
Yeah, our disappointment is not in you, it's in our own inability to do something.
The situation.
It's situational, yes. And Sam, what is your last tip today?
No two disabled people are identical. Don't assume they should be treated the exact same way. I was diagnosed with MND, and I am wildly outside the norm of that. I've had doctors who will say because of this and this, therefore you have this condition, and I'll correct them and say no, actually I don't. And they'll seem actually offended I said that.
Yeah, and not everybody who has the same disability is going to react the same way. My MCAS is not the MCAS another friend might have. We react to different things. So if if you're curious about whether something will affect us or not, or impede us if you invite us over or something, just ask. Asking is the best thing you can do. We don't get upset when you ask if we ask you over, is this going to be a problem? In fact, that shows that you are thinking of our comfort, and it shows you are thinking of our health. So I suppose in a way that's the sum total of this video is, when in doubt, ask. Ask
And
first.
and as an add-on, it is okay for a disabled person to help an enabled person. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
clean the kitchen, I cook, I serve food, I work on the computer, I solve website problems, I program, so I am enabled in some ways.
yeah, I mean, very few people are 100% disabled to where they can't do anything at all. Um, so, yeah, when in doubt, ask. And as a slight rider to that, if you see someone out and about and they have a disability, it's not exactly polite to just go up to a stranger and say, "What's wrong with you?" Sam gets that a lot. I mean, it's one thing if we're friends, it's something else if it's a stranger. It's kind of rude to intrude and say, "What happened to you?" And secondary, to that, don't just go up to a stranger and say, "I'll pray for you," which we've had happen to Sam.
Yeah, I've had it a number of times.
That is just so insulting. And it's so demeaning. It's like you have no clue what is wrong with that person. You have no clue how able they are in some ways. And, there's a line there. It's like with friends, ask so you can make sure that you're not causing harm or so that you can make sure that they're more comfortable. With strangers, ask first before you do anything, but don't grill them on what their disabilities are. Now, next time we have a video, we will be talking about other factors of the disabled life. And in the comments, feel free to mention things you'd like to see us cover. Um, and we can probably work some of them into upcoming videos. And also in the comments, if you are disabled or have a chronic illness, what are some of the things you'd like to tell your friends about how to help you best cope with interacting with them? Feel free to put tips, hints, leave comments. And until next time, we hope you have a wonderful next couple of weeks. And I will see you next Saturday, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. So bye bye.
My